I would like to talk about endometriosis today, which is a very complicated, painful, horrible condition that a lot of women have been suffering with nowadays, more and more, I think. So it's very important to know, first of all, what it is. So it is a condition in which the endometrium, which is the lining of your uterus, that will swell up with blood and grow every month. And then if you don't have an egg implant there, it will shed and you will bleed out, called menstruation. Well, what happens in endometriosis is that you have endometrial tissue, so uterus tissue outside the uterus, growing everywhere. So in your fallopian tubes, in your ovaries, in your kidneys, in your lungs, in your diaphragm, and anywhere in your abdominal cavity. And what happens when that happens is that every time you menstruate, these little pieces of uterus all around your body will menstruate as well, will bleed out as well in your cavity. And that is very painful and very inflammatory. So for us to treat the root causes, we have to understand that endometriosis is an inflammatory disease. It is also has an autoimmune component, and the reason that is because your immune system is not able to identify these growths as foreign, as wrong, and correct them for some reason. Nobody can explain why, the mechanism that it happens, but it means that your immune system is incompetent because it is not being able to identify this as non-self or as out of place and get rid of it. And it's also a hormone-driven disease most of the time, estrogen mostly. So these are the three areas that we can act. It's also a very strong genetic component, and that's the only thing we cannot change. I cannot change your DNA, you cannot change your DNA, but we can change how it expresses itself, right? We can turn off and turn on genes through epigenetics, through our diet, lifestyle. So thinking of these three things, inflammation, immunity, and hormones, we can act to help you treat exactly the root cause of endometriosis. What conventional medicine does, which is very important, I'm in no way dismissing this, is treating the pain and the wrong growth. So the way to diagnose endometriosis is by a laparoscopy, I think that's how you pronounce it. They would go there in a little video through your navel and look into your abdominal cavity, find uterus endometrial tissue where it's growing, take a little piece out and look at it in like a histological examination of it, and then confirm, yes, this is uterus tissue and it was growing, I don't know, in the ovaries. So they have to go there. The treatment is you go there with surgery and you remove those scar tissues and those wrong growths to, one, eliminate the pain. And also in case of fertility, you want to unblock your fallopian tubes and your ovaries that were not able to function properly because of this wrong growth there. Do you understand? So now think with me that is the surgery resolving the inflammation? No. Is the surgery resolving your incompetent immune system? No. Is the surgery resolving the hormone imbalance that is driving this disease? Also no. It is by all means necessary. You do have to have it sometimes. And the other way that conventional medicine treats this is by giving you hormones. So you would be technically in chemical menopause, so they would shut down your hormone production so that every month you don't have to swell up the tissue and bleed, and not only your uterus bleeds, but also the other growths that are everywhere in your body bleeds, causing a lot of pain and inflammation. So those are the conventional treatments. But what can we do as functional medicine practitioners to treat the root causes of that? And there's a lot we can do. So in the inflammation area, we want to quench inflammation in all of its forms. So the main source of inflammation obviously is the diet. We put things in our mouth at least 3 times a day. And these things can either be pro-inflammatory or anti-inflammatory. So an anti-inflammatory diet is one filled with whole foods, real foods, foods that come from the earth, from a plant or from an animal. It is a colorful diet, So I always say that vegetables and fruits are not colorful just to be pretty. They have functions of protection, of antioxidants, of anti-inflammatory, and they are necessary. So removing the things that are inflammatory, so vegetable oils, refined flours, refined sugar, processed foods, additives, pesticides, controlling your environment for inflammatory things, so a lot of pollution, a lot of toxic chemicals, all that. Stress is very inflammatory, so controlling stress is very important. How can we act in the immune system, making it more competent? Well, one, we can give it more nutrients for it to be more competent. Two, we can stop triggering it all the time if you have a leaky gut. So we want to treat that gut. And again, I always say that the leaky gut is like a colander that is full of holes, and you're straining. Instead of little particles, now big particles are coming in, and your immune system is going crazy because it's seeing things it wasn't supposed to see. So healing the gut. And we have to heal the gut from the mouth to the anus. So you have to optimize digestion, chew your food correctly, optimize your stomach acid, know if you have enough bile being secreted, know if you have enough pancreatic enzymes being secreted so you can digest and break down your food to tiny little pieces, and that's how it's supposed to be, not big, huge proteins that activate your immune system. So working with a practitioner that can identify that. Do you have enough acid? Do you have enough bile? Do you have enough pancreatic enzymes? Do you have a good gut balance in terms of bacteria? Do you have any parasites? Parasites cause a lot of inflammation. Stealth infections, Epstein-Barr virus, Lyme disease, mold, things that are hidden, teeth infections, things that you don't know that you have, but they're there activating and just mining your immune system and just making it crazier and weaker, or way too strong, or way too activated, not strong, way too activated. So that's how we take care of the immune part. And then finally, the hormonal part, we want to lower and help you detox estrogen and help you not put more foreign xenoestrogens in your body. And where did those come from? They come from water, they come from plastics, they come from your beauty products, they come from your makeup, they come from your shampoo, they come from your cleaning products, they come from the pesticides in your food, they come from excess alcohol, they come from excess caffeine. So all that will put in your body excess estrogen that drives endometriosis, worsens the symptoms. So we want to be, one, helping your liver detox your estrogen by giving it enough nutrients with a good, healthy diet, maybe even some supplementation. We have to make sure that you are pooping every day so that you're eliminating all these estrogens. Make sure that you're not having bacteria that are deconjugating, meaning they are separating your estrogens that you were ready to poop out, but the bacteria goes there and it separates it so you would reabsorb again. So there's a way to look at that and help support that detoxification of your estrogens, and changing out your beauty products, changing out your makeup to cleaner versions, your cleaning products at home, not drinking out of plastic, not eating out of plastic is so important. Oh my gosh, I cannot stress this enough. So stop putting artificial estrogen in your body and help your body excrete your own estrogen. So that is how these three areas, there's a lot we can do in functional medicine, functional nutrition. And so bottom line is you should optimize your diet, meaning you want to eat the real foods. Dairy is something that is a food that has hormones naturally because it comes from the tits of a cow that is pregnant. So it is a food that contains hormones because that's what it's for. It's to grow little babies. So obviously if you have a hormonal condition, you do not want to be eating a hormone-containing food, right? Things that are also very inflammatory to the gut is wheat. So removing gluten from your diet for a period so you can calm down that immune system, close down that leaky gut. That is very important. Drinking more tea and less coffee because caffeine is a xenoestrogen. It burdens your kidney if you're doing it in excess. A little bit of coffee is fine. But if you're doing it in excess, you will impair your estrogen detoxification. Same thing goes with alcohol, not drinking a lot because that is also something that competes with your estrogen detoxification, removing sugar, removing the refined starches, removing those refined oils, all the processed foods, all the additives, all the coloring, things that comes in packages and bags and have barcodes usually. Not frozen fruits and veggies though, those are fine. So these are all the things that we can do in functional medicine to actually treat the causes of endometriosis. And that plus the conventional treatment to treat your symptoms and relieve your discomfort is the way to go. So I hope I helped kind of piece these things together for you.